Yeah, I agree with that. I thought just okay in the rookie tournament. Um, I was kind of wondering if his like speed and strength was going to be an issue, and then he kind of gets better and better as the first handful of days of training camp go on. I think he's a smart player and understands the structure that we want to play with. I think that's helping him as things get clearer and clearer for him, helping him pick up the pace to his game. Obviously, a skilled puck moving type guy, um, but all aspects of his game away from the puck have improved through the course of training camp, and he's gotten better and better in the games that he's played. So he's going to play again tonight. Tonight's going to be a big night for a lot of guys, right? We made some cuts the other night, sent some guys down and back, and we have to make more. We got a large group here still because of our schedule has been like delayed. Like we've had a lot of practice time, so evaluating guys in practice and then really trying to give them opportunities in the game to see what they can do. It is a big night for him because he's an offensive guy. He's a skilled guy, and like tonight he's going to play power play with Mac and Miko and Kale. See what he can do in that spot. He's played some power play in the previous game. He's playing a good line again tonight, so we'll bounce him around to give him some opportunity. We're with some of the guys we have missing that we're looking to try and fill some holes up in the lineup. So I want to use the guys that we think might possibly be able to fill those holes in exhibition games in those roles to try and see if they're going to be able to do it for us to start the season. If not, we have to adjust and move things around again. So there's a lot of moving parts to our forward group right now, and it's going to be a big night for a bunch of guys, see what kind of impact they can make.
This is the first year where you've had so many, like this is like last year the only battle there really was that 4 months on the contract.
Yeah.
So many different things where you're trying to fill. If
yeah.
preseason was 2 or 3 games shorter, do you feel like you would still be able to do what you want to achieve?
It's a good question. I don't know. Like right now, I'm glad that we have the games. Like I prefer not to have a 3-week camp. Like I felt like when we were in COVID, coming out of COVID twice, the camp was 10, 12 days, played a couple exhibition games and you were rolling, and that was plenty of time for our team to get up and rolling. This year, we've got, like you said, there's 3 open spots in our roster to start opening night, and we have a lot of options at all of the positions, and we can move guys from wing to center, which we're doing. We may have to move players from center to wing and keep other centers. Like it just depends on who's playing well, and as they play well, then we start thinking more and more about what our opening night lot roster looks like and where we may have to move something. Like a player like Colton might have to move up and play with Middlestead, and if he does that, then what does our roster look like? So there's a lot going on. We're discussing every day after every practice, and we're studying the guys that go on the ice and how they perform and how they play, and having meetings with them to see just how we think they understand everything, and trying to make the most educated decisions that we can going into opening night.
When you say 10 days or 3 weeks, that's kind of like preseason and that.
Yeah.
So 10 days would be plenty of time for you to kind of.
Yeah, I think it would. Yeah. Yeah. I don't think it's anything different from any other player that comes in, but what they've done is they played well in the minutes that we've given them in exhibition and through training camp and practice. Like once the players come here, and everyone's going to see it slightly different. But as a coach, I don't care how you got here. You're here, so now make your team. Like that's the way I view it. I don't even know where Ivan was drafted. And I know we got Poland as a free agent out of college. It's what they do in the American League. Can they be a real strong contributor to the American League team in the role that they're given, and what role is that. I understand exactly what Ivan role was last year, because I've talked to Schneeks and the coaching staff a lot, and do we think that he could do something similar here for us? And if that's a yes, then he's going to continue to play games and keep going. Some guys, if they do play a certain role and do certain things for them, we may not have that opening. So can they do something different for us? And if the answer is no, if they can't fill the need that we have right now, then they're probably going to go back to the Eagles, right? So whoever can sort of fill the spots that we're looking to fill, or beat someone out of a job that does already fill those spots, then they'll continue to play and we'll continue to make tough decisions. So, but again, once they're here, there are players. Whether they've just come to us, like a player like Anala, or they've been with us for 5 years, it's still a competition. You still got to make our team and help us win hockey games. Yeah, I think it depends on the player too. Certainly, like in training camp and early in the year, I'm a much more patient coach than I am later on, because I don't want to see the same mistakes being repeated, right? Like if you can't digest the information that we're giving you and implement it into a game, like you have a runway, especially as a younger player, right? For example, Richie, all over the score sheet the other night for scoring chances for. He also was all over the scoring, chance sheet for chances against. So, like I think he can play and contribute to our team right now on the offensive side of it. Can he develop, a stronger defensive game, his play away from the puck, in battles, all of it, to get it to a level where he can help our team and we can use him as a trusted player? Well, can that happen? Well, how quickly can that happen? I don't know where it will go, but I'm coaching him and met with him this morning because I want to see him improve it, whether he's here a week, 2 weeks, 2 months, or if he's here the whole season. He's got to improve it in order to be an impact player for our team all around. So he is, I have a lot of patience. His skill gets him in the door, and there'll be another player that's a fourth line check, Steinberg, right? Much improved player from what we've seen over the years past. He's bigger, stronger, more confident, straight line, banging, crash type guy. Can his checking game just be rock solid and tight, right? Because he's not going to give us a ton of offense here. Can he play a fourth line role in the wing and penalty kill for us? If he can, then he'll get more games. If he can't, then he's got to go back and continue to develop his game. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so we expect all of our guys to learn from our team meetings, game reviews, all those meetings. Like I've been having a lot of individual meetings through camp, right? It's not high stress yet. We kind of planned it out. We've had all off season to sort of plan out. We've talked about lineups. So we're kind of working 4 or 5 days ahead in training camp. Because you're always got to be flexible with who you want to play and discussing lineups and whatnot. But I'm trying to spend as much time with some of those young guys as I can. As the year goes on, depending on schedule, it might just be weekly, not daily. And I do think you want to give players like time just to so they're not every day they're coming in, they're not meeting with the coach. Like you want to see them grow and learn from their teammates, from other members of the staff. But we have, our assistants do a lot of individual teaching. Prater will do a lot of individual teaching and group teaching with their D-Corps throughout the course of the year. Ray with power play guys, forwards. I'll grab some guys. Toby Peterson, Andrew Cogliano now is still meeting and talking with guys. Brian Wilsey, our head development guys here, he's talking with guys as well. because you can't like hit everyone, and it's still a really large group here. But we're trying to, prioritize guys and after games and get some individual teaching in if we can.
And last one's basically, at what point do you want your team to flip the switch and be regular season champions?
Well, I want us to build it to that point for opening night, and yeah. So you take a game like the game the other night. Some of our veteran guys played their first games. Like Gerard was really good too most of the game. OC worked, like we expect him to work, and played really hard. Did some good things. He looks ready already, and he's going to play more games. I thought Colt was really good, and maybe you got other players that, to me, didn't look like they were regular season ready yet. I'm going to put some of those guys back in to play again. We're going to try and work our guys to the point where, and I know that, it is exhibition, but you still got to do the right things and play the right way to get yourself ready for opening night. It just doesn't happen overnight.
Commissioner Colleen?
Kind of on that note, do you evaluate these younger players in a different way when they're playing with new players like me when you go, or to kind of see that communication that person right on?
In some instances, because we're like, say, when Middlestead gets in the lineup here next game, he's got holes in his wing. So like we've tried to play some of the guys that we're going to use there in similar situations and in similar roles, but now they're going to play with Mitty, so we'll probably expect more. It's also game 5 of exhibition, so they've been working longer, right? So the learning curve is pretty steep right now because we're running out of time. But for the most part, like say a guy like Kovalenko is going to play with Nate tonight. Like the best thing you can do is just continue to do what you've done to this point, play to your strengths, right? So the Dallas game, he was a hard-working, straight-line player. He made some great plays. He protected the puck very well, and then he gave it up to some other guys in scoring areas. And if he can do that tonight, then he's likely to get rewarded for that work. I don't want him to change his game and turn into something he's not and get too cute with it, because it's likely not going to turn out the way he wants it to.
Thanks, Jared.
Yeah, thank you.